Okay, so it's very interesting topic, that is market sentiments and its impact on stock price. Okay, so what I'll do is, first let me introduce the NISM and then about myself. Okay, a brief introduction of the NISM. So the first thing is, let me go to the introductory part of the NISM. So I think most of you are aware that it is an institute under our regulator, securities market regulator, that is Security Exchange Board of India. Okay, so it is established as a public trust in 2006, and the major objective or the prime goal of this institute is capacity building activities, basically in securities market ecosystem. Okay, so the NISM run various programs. They conduct various workshops. They have various intermediary statutory examinations. So you can see all those things on their website. Okay, so if you visit the website, you will get to know all the details about the NISM. Okay, so let me just show you the website. Okay, so you can see later on from your side the website. So I hope everyone can see here the NISM portal. Okay, so more details you will find on the NISM. But very, very important thing, what the tagline, what it says, that it is a capacity building initiative by SEBI. Okay, so whatever is happening in the securities market ecosystems, the NISM is enhancing, adding value to the entire value chain. Okay, now next is okay, so this is all about the NISM, I will say. The next is about myself, that you can see my name is Rohit Varman, and I'm into financial services for last 20 years. I worked in various capacities in various organizations in last 20 years. Let's say from 2014 onwards, I started my own firm with Quantify name, which is basically into various fintech projects, which we are the vendors for a couple of IT companies. Okay, apart from that, I'm also with the regulator as a securities market trainer, and of course with the NISM also, as a faculty, guest faculty member. Okay, so let me go with another very important thing about today's webinar. Is what we are going to learn, right? Why we are here, okay? Or let's say what we are going to discuss here, what the learning outcomes are. Okay, so the first is we will see the role of sentiment. Okay, how the sentiment affect the market. Okay, when I say market, we are talking about basically the Nifty 50. Here the example what I am going to consider is Nifty 50. So we will see the macro part. Basically, when I say the macro part, we call it it is measured with something we call it the beta. Okay, so I'm not going too much in technical part, but we'll see how the sentiment affect the market structure. Okay, the macro part, and of course when the macro is affected, then it affects the industry and company also. So sometimes we call it the systematic risk. Okay, so let me just correct it, just a minute. Okay, so Sneha, fine, just a minute. Okay, my slides. Okay, I hope now it is fine. So when we say the macro, we call it the systematic risk, and when we say industry or company, we call it the unsystematic risk. Okay, so we will see how the sentiments affect the market. Okay, very, very important. I will going to take certain examples. I will show the charts. Okay, and we'll understand the importance of sentiments and how to measure it, right? There are various indicators in the market. Okay, so a few of the indicators, the famous one we are going to discuss, something like India wicks, the put call ratio, the Google trend, app, and market mood index. So these are some of the popular, well-known indicators in the market. Okay, so before I go with my session, one more thing we have to see that the disclaimer I want to make here. Okay, so what the disclaimer is, whatever the data or charts I'm going to show here are for the concept purpose only. Okay, these are not the recommendations. Okay, so we are learning the importance of sentiments, how the sentiments affect the prices. Fine. The second is the data or chart discussed are 3 months old as per regulatory guidelines. So I'm not going to show you today's data or yesterday's data. The data is a bit old because this is what the SEBI says, that if if we are doing any education program, we cannot take the live data because these are the new guidelines by the SEBI, especially for the financial influencers. Fine. So I'm following those. We are following those guidelines. So the data will be a bit old, but it doesn't matter, right? If we are good with the concept, then uh, it is applicable. Those fundamentals are applicable in any situation, right? Okay, the third point, what it says, the points discussed here are for awareness purpose. Okay, so we should be aware of all these sentiments indicators. Fine. And further, it will give you the direction, right? What further um, research or further, analysis you can carry out from your side. So these are a few of the things you have to remember. Okay. And of course, I know some of you may ask me the current situation, what happened today or what happened last week or what can happen, in the coming week. Those are advisory questions. Please understand, we are not here for any kind of advisory. It's a purely learning workshop. I hope it is clear, everyone. Okay. Okay. Another thing is, of course, I can see some of you have raised your hands. Sanjay, Roshan, Subhashri. You have any question? Please let me know. All right. Okay. So let me go first with the first slide, and please, I will be asking some of the questions you have to answer. Okay. You can put in the chat or you can unmute yourself and answer. I hope everyone can see the chart, right? The first part is the macro, right? The market structure. Okay, so Hindi maybe. Oh, fine. Okay, so I'm not using anyway hi-fi English. So fine. अभी आप सभी को स्लाइड दिख रही होगी. Okay, so if you see the slide, first thing is you have to observe the date. Okay, ये जो चार्ट है यहाँ पर, ये मार्च अप्रैल 2024 का है. Is it fine? So if I make a line here, you can see the x-axis. You can see the x-axis, right, everyone? So here in the x-axis, you can see up to here you have. Okay, so this is your March, and this is your April. Fine, and this is 2024 data. Okay. Again, as I said, here the market, what we are considering is the Nifty 50, because Nifty 50 is basically, it represents 60% of the Nifty 500, right? All right. So we have the March and April data. Okay. Okay. The time frame, yes, you can see the time frame. Of course, you observe carefully on the upper side on the left corner. You can see this is Nifty 50 1 hour, right? Okay. So this is just a snapshot screenshot I have taken from the trading view, right? I think everyone, most of you are aware with this quite popular charting tool, right? There are many in the market, but it's quite popular with many of the trading members, right? Okay, so if you see this chart, please try to understand the first thing, the market structure. What we can see is from the starting, the market is trending. Is it fine? There is a trend here, fine. And if you see, it is making high, low, right? So it is high and high, low, right? You can see it is climbing, right? Everyone can see it is going up. Okay, now, so if you see, this is something like a trend, right? Okay, but what is happening, when you come to around 12th of April 2024, something by seeing the chart, we can say it is a peak. Otherwise, we don't know what the peak is, right? Suppose if I come to the, let's say if I come to the 3rd April, or let's say, some 2nd of April, then this is the peak, right? It's only by seeing at the end of the day only we'll get to know what the peak is. Okay, so यहाँ पर आके आपको दिखेगा द मार्केट रिवर्स, राइट? दैट मीन्स मार्केट में कोई न्यूज आई थी, राइट? एंड द न्यूज इज नॉट गुड. It is a global news. Okay, it is a global news, and if you see from 12th of April, the market came down, right? It falls, right? So you can see how the market reacted to the global news. Now, if you just Google it from your side, अगर आप गूगल करेंगे, you what you will find is it is something like a war is going on in the Middle East, right? It is something to do with the Iran, Israel, and Palestine, right? So you see, the Iran uh, started the war. I mean, Iran also participated in the war, and the thing is, the market reacted, right? So if you see, with a sudden entry of the Iran, the market reacted, and with that news, it start falling. I hope you can see here. So continuously for, you can see from 12th of April till, if you see, the 19th of April, not the complete 19th, but the beginning of 19th, right? So consecutively, you can see it fall drastically. Something like in short time frame, we can say it crashed, right? Okay, that means, please understand. Okay, so now please understand. I mean, it is fine. People are talking about profit and all those. See, please understand those. If you are thinking on that lines, that means you are thinking in terms of the fundamental, right? We are not going to discuss anything about the fundamental or technical here. It is purely how the sentiment affect. So the thing is, if what I want to show here, जो मैं यहाँ बताना चाहता हूँ, that with any bad news, the fear grip. Okay, so जब fear होता है, you can see the market reacts actually. I hope it is clear, and it is not for long term. It is for that entire week only, 12 to 19th, and then if you see from 19 onward, again it jumps, right? It climbs, and then it becomes a normal. तो ये जो शॉर्ट आपको एक हफ्ते का या 2 दिन का या 10 दिन का जो रिएक्शन होता है ना, so that is what I'm going to say is, it can be a greed, it can be a fear. It can be a fear, या तो सबको डर लगता है या यूफोरिया होता है, right? People are either pessimist or they are very much optimist. I hope you are understanding sentiments. Sentiments are not for long term. Those are reaction, right? Okay, so you think from the psychological point. Stop loss and all those, please understand, stop loss और मैं वो risk management की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. I know what you are, putting in the chat box. We are not going to discuss all those risk management, positioning, sizing, and entry and exit. But you see how the market react. और इसको अपन measure किसे करेंगे, right? That we are going to see in the indicators part. So first is try to understand the macro structure. In a normal market, there is a uptrend, sudden news, okay, any global news, it reacted, and after a week's time, it again normalize. I hope it is clear. Okay, the next is, I'll go to the next part. I hope it is clear. Okay, I'll come to the next one more, slide, quite famous. This is again a good example. Okay, Now, those who are aware of this time period, that is May 2024 and the first week of June, right? Okay, so this is 2024. This is, this data, what you are seeing is something we call it exit polls, right? So India में जो general election हुए थे last year, right? The union election. So there was a exit poll, and then finally we have the poll data, right? So it is 3rd and 4th June data. You see how the market reacted actually. So first is you see this is 30th May data, the yellow part you can see here, and if you read the points of Nifty 50, it is 22,560, and then the next day on the 3rd June, that is, I guess it was Monday, okay, you see the gap here, right? So 22,560, it become 23,300. So roughly, increment of 800 points, roughly. The gap up is only 800 points, and that day it closed on 23,315. Okay, that means uh, it's a 800 point gap. And then the 4th June, right, when the actual result, the counting started, and जैसे result आने लगे, so what it happens, you see the sentiment, right? There are expectations. Please understand, there are expectation, और जब वो expectation meet नहीं होती है, तो वो उल्टे तरीके से रिएक्ट करता है. सो यू सी द सेम डे फ्रॉम 23,315, right, or let's say round figure 23,300 points, it came down. If you see the down, right, it is 21,315. So 2,000 points difference, right, on a single day, right? So you please see the reaction, sentiments, very very important. Now the thing is, of course, later on, as it, as the result came, things get cleared, है ना, ambiguity हट गई, थोड़ा दिखने लगा, right? So again, there is, the market climbs, and later on, you can see from 11th June onwards, it's stabilized, right? So sentiments means what we are seeing is the fear factor, right? Especially the fear factor, or it can be a kind of euphoria also. Okay, and yes, election result, fine. High, low broken up on reversal. Okay, fine. FOMO and all those, fine. Those we are not discussing, fear of missing out. But I hope you understood my point, right? So the main thing what we are going to discuss now is the greed and fear, right? So a normal market structure can be broken because of the, extreme sentiments. Okay, I'll go with the next part. Okay, now let's understand what the market sentiments are, right? So the first thing is, okay, what I have written is market sentiment reflect the overall attitude and mood of investors, indicating whether they are optimistic, that is bullish, or pessimistic, that is bearish, about future price movement. Now, it is a psychological and emotional factor that influence investment decision, right? So, देखो, आपने सुना होगा, कई लोग बोलते हैं कि मार्केट ऑल टाइम हाई है, so it is something like fear, मैं इन्वेस्ट करूं या नहीं करूं. और many times people say it is down, क्या और नीचे जाएगा, right? So all those are fear factors. So it is a psychological or emotional factor that influence investment decisions, often leading to herd behavior, speculative bubbles, or crashes, right? So it's more like a herd behavior, right? सब कर रहे तो मैं भी करूंगा, या सब बाय कर रहे तो मैं भी बाय करूंगा. I hope it is clear. Yeah, you will get all the recordings, PPTs, everything. I hope it is clear, right? But very, very important thing is, because of sentiment, a trend is broken maybe for a 2 days or maybe for a week's time. Okay, let me go with the next part. Now we have something called bullish sentiments. Okay, when the investors are optimistic, they tend to buy more shares, increasing demand and pushing prices higher. Okay, so same I said earlier also कि अगर optimistic है बहुत ज़्यादा पॉजिटिव है, तो हर कोई पार्टिसिपेट करेगा एंड इट विल टेक द प्राइस हायर बिकॉज देर इज मोर डिमांड ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर स्टॉक. Okay, and the other way is the counterpart is the bearish sentiment. Okay, so with the bearish sentiment, it goes down. You can clearly see here, right? So when the investors are pessimistic, they tend to sell shares, increasing supply and causing price to fall. Okay, so what we have seen till now is there can be a bullish sentiment, there can be a bearish sentiment. ओके, बट सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज है ये सेंटिमेंट मालूम कैसे पड़ेंगे, है ना. मार्केट में कोई ऐसे इंडिकेटर्स है जिससे अपन को ये मालूम हो सकता है. ओके, सो दैट विल बी माय नेक्स्ट टॉपिक. ओके, अगेन आई थिंक you heard about this non-systematic risk and systematic risk. Okay, non-systematic risk something to do with the company or industry. जैसे कई लोग बोलते हैं कि बीच में ऐसा न्यूज आया था, आईटी इंडस्ट्री इज नॉट डूइंग गुड और आईटी स्टॉक्स आर नॉट डूइंग गुड. सो इट इज इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक, that can be diversified. Okay, and then you have something called systematic risk. Okay, like something like what we are discussing, all those global geopolitical tensions, those lead to the systematic risk. Okay, it can be policy change, fiscal policy change at a global level, right? It all started, I think, in the month of December, January, right? 4 months back, especially with the US president when he started putting tariff, so it affects the global economy. Those are systematic risk, right? So all this will lead to sentiments. Please understand, and mostly it is in negative terms, in terms of the fears. Okay, so my next part is how to measure the sentiments. Okay, how to measure the sentiments. ये sentiments को measure कैसे करेंगे? Okay, so first thing is, I'm going to show you very important thing. I will show you from where to take this data also. Okay, so everyone can see here India wicks. Okay, so basically wicks stand for volatility index. So India volatility index. ओके, सो ये जो इंडिया वॉलेटिलिटी इंडेक्स है ये एनएससी प्रिपेयर करता है, राइट. सो ऑफ कोर्स इट इज अ कॉपीराइट ऑफ शिकागो बोर्ड ऑफ ऑप्शन एक्सचेंज, बट एनएससी ने उनसे कॉपीराइट्स लिया है और इंडियन तरीके से उसको कस्टमाइज करके रखा है, राइट. सो इंडिया विक्स, ये इंडिया विक्स अगर आप देखेंगे ये वॉलेटिलिटी इंडेक्स है. अच्छा, सबको मालूम होगा व्हाट इज वॉलेटिलिटी. वॉलेटिलिटी मींस चेंज इन द प्राइस और चेंज इन द इंडेक्स पॉइंट, राइट. उसको अपन वॉलेटिलिटी बोलते हैं. बेसिकली मे बी आपने सुना होगा ये जो रिस्क है इसको अपन फाइनेंस में मेजर करते हैं थ्रू स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन. सो प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, जो स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन है वो बेसिकली हिस्टोरिकल डेटा पे कंप्यूट होता है. बट ये जो वॉलेटिलिटी इंडेक्स है, राइट, ये बेसिकली स्टॉक प्राइस के ऊपर, सॉरी, इंडेक्स ऑप्शन प्राइस के ऊपर कंप्यूट होता है. ओके, सो मैं एक काम करता हूँ, आई शो यू ऑन द एनएससी वेबसाइट वेयर इट इज अवेलेबल. So I am on the NSE website. I hope everyone can see. Okay, so on the fine. So on the NSE website, what we have to do is we have to go to the market data. Okay, so we'll go to the market data और यहाँ पर left side में आपको indices दिखेगा. We'll go to the indices. Okay, indices में you will find all the indices. Fine. So ये जो VIX है आप देख सकते हो यहाँ पर broad market indices में. Okay, you can see my cursor here. You can see India wicks. Okay, so let me click on this India wicks. Okay, so India wicks, and you know what it says, what the India wicks says. Okay, same thing I put on the slides also. Slides पे भी यही मैंने लिखा हुआ है, right? So यहाँ पर let me explain to you. Okay, what this India wicks is. So volatility index is a measure of markets expectation of volatility over near term. Very very important. तो बेसिकली ये वॉलेटिलिटी कौन देखता है? जो बेसिकली पोजिशनल ट्रेडर है या जो इंट्राडे ट्रेडर है, नॉट द इन्वेस्टर। जिनका म्यूचुअल फंड सेफ है, एसआईपी है, वो ये सब नहीं देखते हैं, बिकॉज एसआईपी बेसिकली इज फॉर द लॉन्ग टर्म। बट जो इंट्राडेट कर रहे हैं या जो 2 दिन के लिए, एक हफ्ते के लिए कुछ पोजीशन लेके रखी है जिन्होंने, राइट, या बेसिकली जो फ्यूचर एंड ऑप्शन में ट्रेड करते हैं, उसके उनके लिए ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है, राइट, सेंटिमेंट्स। क्योंकि प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, अगर मैं बेसिक्स बात करूं ऑप्शंस की, तो ऑप्शन में एक इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू होता है और टाइम वैल्यू होता है, राइट। सो ऑप्शन प्रीमियम इज मेड अप ऑफ व्हाट? टाइम वैल्यू एंड इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू। तो टाइम वैल्यू जो है वो डिके होता है, राइट। ओके, सो द थिंग इज, एक कोई भी पोजीशन या इंट्राडे ट्रेडर के लिए उसको मालूम होना चाहिए कि वॉलेटिलिटी कितना है, कितना फ्लक्चुएशन है, इज इट फाइन। तो उसको इंडिकेट कौन करता है? इट इज इंडिकेटेड बाय द विक्स। ओके, एंड इट्स इज नियर टर्म। नियर टर्म का मतलब है आने वाले 30 दिन, 30 डेज के लिए ही होता है ये। ओके, सो द मैक्सिमम टाइम पीरियड इट सीज इज 30 डेज ओनली। Okay, so that's why it says near term. Okay, and again it says volatility is often described as rate and magnitude of change in the prices, and in finance often referred to as risk. तो जैसा मैंने आपको बताया था, हिस्टोरिकली अपन स्टैंडर्ड डिविएशन से मेजर करते हैं, बट फ्यूचरिस्टिक जो होता है वो अपन इम्प्लाइड वॉलेटिलिटी से अपन मेजर करते हैं, राइट। सो द थिंग इज, बेसिकली ये परसेंटेज में वैल्यू होती है। ऑल्दो वहां अपन को 20 दिखेगा, 15 दिखेगा, 80 दिखेगा, राइट। आई विल शो यू 80 वॉज द हाइएस्ट एक्चुअली ड्यूरिंग द कोविड टाइम। ओके, स्टिल इट इज अराउंड 20। आई विल शो यू द रियल डेटा। ओके, सो और इसका इंटरप्रिटेशन भी अपन देखते हैं। सो लेट मी गो फर्स्ट विद द डेटा। ओके, सो विल गो टू द सर्च हिस्टोरिकल वैल्यू। ओके, और जैसे मैं एक हफ्ते का, आप देख सकते हो यहाँ पर, आई गो विद द 1 वीक डेटा। Okay, you can see the 1 week data, or let me go with a 1 month. Okay, just try to understand from where we are sourcing the data. Okay, 17. Okay, good, good. So देखो, स्विंग ट्रेडर के लिए मैं विक्स को तो मैं नहीं, एज आई सेड, विक्स का जो ऑब्जेक्टिव है वो 30 डेज का है। स्विंग ट्रेडर्स आर बेसिकली मोर देन 3 मंथ्स, राइट। सो आई थिंक उनके लिए ये एप्लीकेबल हो सकता है। इट डिपेंड्स अपन कैसे इसको यूज करते हैं, बट इट्स इट्स मोर टू डू विद द शॉर्ट टर्म ट्रेडर्स। इफ इट रीचेज 100, अमनजीत सिंह, 100 अभी हुआ नहीं है। ओके, आई विल शो यू, जस्ट सी हियर। एक हाँ, so first please understand, what I'm going to take this data. So I think everyone know, on 22nd April there was a terrorist attack, right? So if you see, if you see, just see the closing. Okay, just keep the thing simple. Closing for the day on 22nd April, or if you even see the prior to it, it was around 15, right? Just see here this 22nd April, right? It was 15.2. Okay, and as the day passes, you know, when that the war started, right? I don't know what to say, war or attack. Okay, so okay, it was I think 6th May, right? So if you see 2nd and 5th May, it climbs to 18, right? 18 हो गया था. and then on 6th May it becomes 19th, on 7th also it is 19th, then on 8th you just see it becomes 21, on 9th it is 21.63, right? On 12th it is 18, and now somebody says 14th we can see is 17, right? Okay, so you see here the wicks rise with uncertainty, right? Wicks rise when there is a fear, high sentiments, the wicks rise. I will show you one more interesting data which I have, put on my PPT. Okay, there is nothing about good or bad. मैं इसका interpretation आपको बताता हूँ. Okay, so let me first go to my slide here. As I said, my data is a bit different on the slides. Okay, now this data is a bit, 5-year-old data, because that is the time when the maximum wicks happen in India. Okay, so you see here, if you see the date on the slides, yes. So if you see, actually the COVID and all those symptoms, it all started in February only, right? So in the Feb 2020 only, you will see the wicks started climbing. The screenshot which I have taken is from 16th March 2020, right? And you see the close is 58.87. And I think nobody can forget 23 or 24 March, right? That lockdown. I hope everyone remember, right? So it climbed, that was the highest in the Indian history. 24th March 2020, it was 83.60. Is it fine? So that was the highest. So intentionally I have put here, that was the highest wicks India experience. Now ये आपको आप पूछे थे कि ये ज़्यादा अच्छा है या कम अच्छा है, राइट? ओके, सो नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं बोलेंगे विक्स इज इनवर्सली रिलेटेड टू निफ्टी, नथिंग टू डू विद दैट, nothing to do with that. It says volatility index. It doesn't says that it inversely moves, right? It is a volatility. Please understand, volatility can be up also, it can be down also. Like suppose when I say standard deviation volatility, it is always a positive number. If I say 12% volatility, it can be a towards the downtrend also, it can be uptrend also. So nothing like principle inversely related to. Yeah, variation, very good. Variance, good Pratik, yes. So fair enough. Okay. So okay, so let me again go to the NSE website. Okay, and here, uh, let me go with the custom dates. Let me customize this. Okay, I'll take 2020 and I'll start with Feb. Okay, let's say something like 17th of Feb till 30th March. Okay, again 2020 I'll go with 31st March. So okay, now this is good. So if you see 17 Feb, I hope everyone. Okay. So if you see the 17 Feb, the closing is 14.41, then 14.51. तो इसका इंटरप्रिटेशन देख लेते हैं. जब भी विक्स 15 के नीचे है, समथिंग लाइक 12, 13, 11, 10, इसका मतलब वॉलेटिलिटी कम है, फ्लक्चुएशन कम है, मार्केट स्टेबल है. ओके, तो जब मार्केट नॉर्मल होता है, स्टेबल होता है, तो अपनी स्ट्रेटेजीज जो है वो काम करती है. बट अगर वॉलेटिलिटी बढ़ती है, मूवमेंट्स ज्यादा होते हैं, ओके, तो अपनी स्ट्रेटेजीज फेल हो जाती है. मतलब नॉट नेसेसरी इट विल वर्क. ओके, so that is what, in a simple layman term we can say that a high wicks indicate a volatility, instability, fear factor बहुत ज्यादा है. इज इट फाइन? अच्छा, इसको अपन और भी तरीके से देखेंगे कैसे मेजर करते हैं, बट प्लीज ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड, नथिंग गुड और बैड. ओके, कई लोगों को वॉलेटिलिटी पसंद है, राइट? दे वांट अ मोमेंटम एक्चुअली. मे बी अ स्कैल्पर, a scalper in option or futures, a scalper always look for the momentum, always look for some kind of volatility. तो कुछ लोगों के लिए अच्छा है, depend है whether you are a scalper or positional trader or a swing trader or a long term investor. It depends on that. I hope it is clear. As volatility rise, equity market comes down. Yes, fear factor होता है, please understand. राइट, सो जो रिटेलर्स होते हैं वो पार्टिसिपेट कम करते हैं बिकॉज नो बडी लाइक्स अनसर्टेनिटी वॉलेटिलिटी। किसको, एक नॉर्मल इन्वेस्टर जो है, राइट, उसको वॉलेटिलिटी पसंद नहीं है, किसी को पसंद नहीं एक्चुअली इफ आई से, राइट। सो विक्स इंडिकेट करता है कि वॉलेटिलिटी कितना है। अगर विक्स 15 या 20 के ऊपर चले जाता है, इट मीन्स हाई वॉलेटिलिटी, हाई अनस्टेबिलिटी, प्राइस कैसे भी कहीं भी मूव होएगा, राइट। सो उस केस में थोड़ा फियर फैक्टर हो जाता है, एंड दैट्स व्हाई जो सीरियस या जो स्विंग ट्रेडर्स या पोजिशनल ट्रेडर है वो ऑपोजिट पोजीशन लेते हैं। तो दो जो ऑप्शन के प्रीमियम होते हैं वो भी हाई हो जाते हैं, राइट, बिकॉज सेलर कम्स इनटू द पिक्चर एंड सेलर ऑलवेज वांट टू सेल एट हाई। इज इट फाइन? सो अगर आप ये 2020 का डेटा देखेंगे 17 फेब से, राइट, इट इज समवॉट राइट इन कंट्रोल, बट यू सी फ्रॉम 3rd March onwards, or let's say 2nd March onwards, it becomes 19, 21, 22. You see how it climbs as the COVID news, the lockdown started in various countries, how it rise. So that was the highest point. uh, I want to tell historically. I hope it is clear, everyone. हाँ, सो देखो, लॉसेस के लिए रिस्क मैनेजमेंट हो जाता है ना, अपन ऐसे ओपन पोजीशन नहीं रख सकते। आई होप इट इज क्लियर. Okay, so let's go to my slides again. Okay, so that was the India wicks. So, I have written clearly, that the India wicks indicate the investor perception of the market's volatility in near term, that is up to 30 calendar days. Higher the Indian wicks value, higher is the expected volatility and vice versa. I hope it is clear, nothing good or bad. So depend है वो institute या वो person, right? कौन सी कैटेगरी में आता है. Some people prefer volatility. Most of the, or I say masses, general public avoids volatility. Not necessary high volatility, high volume. Not necessary. See, all those data is available on the NSE website. If you see high volatility, high volume, no. But yes, high volatility will lead to high prices. Okay, in the options, high volatility will lead to high prices. The premiums are high, but volumes will be high, not necessary. Okay, so that is all about the India VIX. Let me go with the next one. Okay, again, very, very important. We call it, yeah, good, fair enough. Retail investors stay away from volatility. Yes. Okay, the next is very famous put call ratio. Okay, so I can see a question. So this means only the moment of volatility happen. Yes. So depend again, Anusha, what you are asking, it depends, right? What kind of investor you are, a scalper or positional or swing trader or long-term investor. Okay, so let's come to the put call ratio, PCR, quite popular. Okay, now for the put call ratio, I will show you again the NSE website. Okay, so what you have to do is, I'll go to the first page of NSE. The first page of NSE and the put call ratio. So that means it is talking about the options, right? So you have the call option, you have the put option. So I'm going to the option chain here. ओके सो आप पूछ रहे हैं हायर द वॉल्यूम लोअर द ओपन इंटरेस्ट। नहीं, ऐसा भी कुछ नहीं है। ओपन इंटरेस्ट मीन्स द पार्टिसिपेशन एक्चुअली। बल्कि ओपन इंटरेस्ट ज़्यादा है, मतलब ज़्यादा पार्टिसिपेशन है एक्चुअली। Okay, so first let's understand. Okay, let's come to our topic again back. Okay, so PCR, put call ratio. I hope everyone can see the NSE website. What I've done is click on, you can see my cursor, click on option chain. Okay, now this data you can see here, everyone. This is a Nifty. Okay, that means as I said, Nifty 50 is basically, it represents 60% of the Nifty 500. Okay, so Nifty, I'm taking Nifty data. Expiry 15th May. Today is 15th May. So it expired actually. Okay, so it is fine. I'm not taking the futuristic. Let's stick to 15th May only, today's date. Okay, let me zoom this. Okay. Okay, so the first thing is on the left hand side, you can see the call. Okay. And on the right hand side, you can see the put option, right? The call data and the put data. Okay. In between, you can see the strike. Okay, very, very important thing is the open interest. You can see on the extreme side, right? The call OI, that is open interest, and the put OI, the open interest. Okay, in between, after that, you can see change in the OI also. That means today, how the OI change. Okay, so change in the OI. तो ओपन इंटरेस्ट क्या होता है? ओपन इंटरेस्ट जो है, सी यू थिंक फ्रॉम द राइट, जो सेलर होता है ना, सेलर के पर्सपेक्टिव से, ये सेलर ओपन करता है, राइट? ये कितने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ओपन है कॉल के और पुट के? ओके, सो ओपन इंटरेस्ट वेरी सिंपल। कितने लोगों ने इंटरेस्ट लिया है ना, तो सेलर ने ओपन करा और बायर ने बाय करा, वेरी सिंपल। ओके, नाउ नेक्स्ट इज, ओके, द नेक्स्ट इज, you see today, if you see the NSE, it closed at 25,062, right? 25,062. So the first thing is I'm going to the strike of 25,062. You can see here this 25,050. Okay. So anyway, Nifty closed at 25,62. I'll take 25,50. Okay. Now, very, very important thing is you see the open interest, right? 2550 on the call side and put side, है ना? तो अपन जो इंडिकेटर देख रहे हैं वो देख रहे हैं पीसीआर, पुट कॉल रेशियो। अभी आपको एक चीज याद रखनी है, एट अ मैक्रो लेवल, कॉल का मतलब बुलिश, पुट का मतलब बेरिश। इज इट फाइन? सो कॉल मीन्स बुलिश, पुट मीन्स बेरिश। कॉल मीन्स अप ट्रेंड, पुट मीन्स डाउन ट्रेंड। ओके, तो कितने लोग सोचते हैं ऊपर जाएगा और कितने सोचते हैं नीचे जाएगा मार्केट, राइट? सो उसका क्या रेशियो है? अगर पुट ज्यादा है तो मतलब मार्केट क्या सोच रहा है? यू नो इट विल गो डाउन। अगर पुट कम है, इसका मतलब कॉल ज्यादा है, मतलब मार्केट ऊपर जाएगा। ओके, कई लोग कॉन्ट्रा भी सोचते हैं कि रिवर्स होएगा। ओके, अब देखो, मैं इसमें कुछ अभी ये नहीं बोलूंगा रिवर्स होएगा या सेम डायरेक्शन में जाएगा। देर आर अदर फैक्टर्स ऑल्सो वी हैव टू कंसिडर। मतलब एक ही इंडिकेटर से काम नहीं होता है। इंडिकेटर खाली इंडिकेट करेगा, बट अगेन यू हैव टू अप्लाई वन मोर फिल्टर टू कंफर्म इट, राइट? सो कई लोग दो तीन फिल्टर लगाते हैं कंफर्म करने के लिए, एंड देन दे टेक द पोजिशन। ओके, सो स्ट्राइक का मतलब होता है एक्सरसाइज, आप बोल सकते हो किस पे डील हो रहा है ना? तो यहाँ जो आपको स्ट्राइक दिख रहा है, किस पे डील हो रहा है, राइट? तो अभी मैं सिंपल करने के लिए यही आपको बता रहा हूँ। मार्केट आज जो निफ्टी बंद हुआ है वो 2562 पे हुआ है। तो मैं ये एट द मनी इसको बोलते हैं, राइट? जब स्ट्राइक और निफ्टी सेम लेवल पे होता है, वी कॉल इट एटीएम, एट द मनी। So I'm taking the डेटा ऑफ एटीएम, राइट, एट द मनी का मैंने डेटा लिया है। तो अगर आप यहाँ ओपन इंटरेस्ट देखेंगे, समथिंग लाइक यू कैन सी हियर, 1,21,174। एंड सेम वे पुट का अगर देखेंगे तो यहाँ पर है 2,93,443। ठीक है। तो जो एनएसी है ये अलग अलग स्ट्राइक पे सारा डेटा देके इन्होंने रखा है। अल्टीमेटली मैं आपको सिंपल यही बता देता हूँ, अगर टोटल ओपन इंटरेस्ट देखते हैं, राइट, आप लास्ट में देखेंगे टोटल कॉल का ओपन इंटरेस्ट देखते हैं, सो व्हाट इट इज 24,13,815। वेरेज अगर पुट का देखते हैं सो इट सेज 24,085 एंड 728। ओके, तो मैं ऐसा नहीं बोल रहा हूँ दे आर इक्वल, but they are on nearby only. It is a balanced data actually. अगर बहुत ज्यादा डिफरेंस होता है, सपोज यहाँ 24,013 है और पुट साइड हो जाता है इसका डबल 50 लैक्स, तो दैट इज नॉन एज इम्बैलेंस एक्चुअली। ओके, सो मार्केट हमेशा बैलेंस करता है, इट वर्क्स इन इक्विलिब्रियम। सो आज जो डेटा आप देख रहे हो कॉल और पुट का, मार्केट हमेशा बैलेंस करके चलता है, बट कई बार ये डिस्टॉर्टेड होता है, सेम नहीं होता है, काफी बार ये बहुत अलग होता है। ओपन इंटरेस्ट कॉल का अलग होएगा और पुट का अलग होएगा, राइट। तो उस केस में अपन को यही देखना है, अगर पुट का ज्यादा है मतलब मार्केट डाउन ट्रेंड की तरफ है, और अगर कॉल का ज्यादा है तो वो अप ट्रेंड की वजह अप ट्रेंड है। आई होप इट इज क्लियर एवरीवन। ओके, सो हिंदी एंड इंग्लिश आई डोंट नो लाइक व्हाट टू स्पीक। Okay, so I hope it is clear, everyone. Okay, so let me show you on the slides. Okay, so on the slides, I hope everyone can see on the slides. Okay, so मैं PCR repeat कर रहा हूँ. The put call ratio is a technical indicator used to gauge market sentiment by comparing the volume or open interest. Mostly अपन open interest पे ध्यान देते हैं. ओके, ओपन इंटरेस्ट मैंने बताया था कितने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ओपन है मार्केट में, कितने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स खुले हुए हैं, राइट। तो खुले हुए का मतलब है बायर और सेलर ने एक्सेप्ट करा हुआ। हायर पीसीआर सजेस्ट बेरिश सेंटिमेंट, मतलब अगर वन से ज्यादा है दैट मीन्स पुट ज्यादा है। प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, यहाँ मैंने फॉर्मूला लिखा है पुट डिवाइडेड बाय कॉल, right? It is put divided by call. So PCR above one indicates more puts are being purchased. तो put का मतलब क्या होता है? डाउन ट्रेंड, suggesting a bearish outlook. This might signal a potential market bottom as investors are anticipating a decline. Same way, below one indicates more calls are being purchased than puts, suggesting a bullish outlook. तो अगर पीसीआर 1 या उसके ऊपर है दैट मीन्स मोर पुट बेरिश, इफ इट इज बिलो 1 इट कैन बी 0.5 0.7 0.3, दैट मीन्स इट इज बुलिश, राइट, अप ट्रेंड। ओके, कई लोग इसको कॉन्ट्रा अप्रोच, कॉन्ट्रा मतलब उल्टा, राइट, सम पीपल गो विद द कॉन्ट्रा अप्रोच ऑल्सो। दे थिंक दैट मोर मार्केट इज टुवर्ड्स द पुट साइड, so it can go up also. So I'm not going into those technical things, but please try to understand 2 3 indicators have to be combined to take a concrete decision whether when to enter and when to exit. I hope you are understanding my point. Okay, over what time? Okay, so very good. So iska time horizon kya hai? Please understand put and call option, right? So basically Nifty और Sensex की weekly expiry भी होती है, they have a monthly expiry also. तो अगर कोई इंट्राडे ट्रेडर है, राइट, तो वो उसी दिन का देखेगा हाउ द ओपन इंटरेस्ट इज चेंजिंग। अगर कोई मंथली एक्सपायरी का है देन दे विल ट्रैक फॉर अ वीक्स टाइम, राइट। ऑफ कोर्स कैन पुट एंड कॉल अफेक्ट द मार्केट, ऑफ कोर्स। देखो, अपन ऑप्शंस में क्यों एंट्री लेते हैं? टू हेज इट, राइट। जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल अगर मैंने कोई शेयर खरीदा है, ठीक है, और मैंने खरीदा, इसका मतलब what it means, see, a buyer always thinks the price will go up, but suppose if any global news comes it can go down also. So how to hedge? Then I will go with the hedging, right? Then it's something like an insurance, it ensures that my losses are minimum. I will take the opposite position, right? It can be writing a call or it can be buying a put, very simple. Okay, just to show to you, I have taken one screenshot here from a website. Okay, you have to see the right side last column. It says PCR open interest. You can see PCR open interest. Okay, so yeah, so one question is what we can watch total OI or near few strike watch at ATM OI is a matter. Okay, okay, so fine. Dhaval, right? A good question, Dhaval Patel. Okay, so what Dhaval is asking, there are so many strikes, so we should go with all. So again, I will say if we are a day trader, intraday trader, then we should always look for nearby ATM only. Maybe two above ATM, two below ATM. I hope Dhaval it is clear. We don't have to go because see, even you take the whole, there are hardly any open interest in all the strike. Most of the open interest you will find near the spot only. I hope Dhaval it is clear. I'm not going too much technical, right? Okay, so put how to calculate PCR? It is very simple. Total put open interest divided by total call open interest. I hope it is clear. Okay, Dhaval, it is fine. Okay, good, Dhaval. Okay, no, please don't ask any advisory question. Okay, let me go with this slide. Now you can see, you just see the extreme right and left. Okay, on the left you can see the strike. Okay, uh, let's say you can see here 24,660 is the spot price, and you see the right side PCR, that is put call ratio open interest. And if you see the red color strike, the open interest is 0.5, 0.26. What it indicates, है ना, ये क्या इंडिकेट करता है? ये इंडिकेट करता है ज्यादा कॉल ओपन इंटरेस्ट है. दैट मीन्स मार्केट इज बुलिश. इज इट फाइन? द मार्केट इज बुलिश. और अगर आप मार्केट को ट्रैक करते, यू सी टुडे इज अ वेरी गुड एग्जांपल. इफ यू सी द टुडेज मार्केट, जस्ट सी फ्रॉम योर साइड, राइट? सो ये मेरी स्लाइड और आज का जो मार्केट है ना, वो मैच हो रहा है एक्चुअली. Coincidentally it is matching. So the thing is, we have seen that only, right? That if the PCR is less than 1, 0.5, or even I will say better, less than 0.7, it means more call holders, right? Open interest ज़्यादा है call की तरफ, and the market moved up, right? But कई बार उल्टा भी होता है. Not necessary. There are no universal principles. These are indicators. Please understand. पीसीआर पॉजिटिव ही होएगा, नेगेटिव नहीं होता. अगर कुछ भी डिवाइड करोगे तो नेगेटिव नहीं आता है. आई होप इट इज क्लियर. या तो वो 1 के नीचे होएगा या 1 के ऊपर होएगा. वेरी सिंपल. वो 0 के नीचे नहीं होएगा ना. ओके, गुड, fine. So this is PCR. Now, very interesting thing. I don't know how many of you are aware of this. There is a Google app known as Google Trends. Okay, trend भी emotions बताता है, right? I will show you by example how the Google Trend works. ओके, आप में से कितने लोगों ने सुना है ये ट्रेंड, गूगल ट्रेंड? हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव हर्ड गूगल ट्रेंड? ओके, ओके, वी चेक डेली. ओके, फाइन. ओके, फाइन, फाइन, इट्स फाइन. ओके, आई गॉट द रिस्पॉन्स. ओके, ओके, सो लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड गूगल ट्रेंड. ओके, तो यहाँ पर आपको देख देख रहे होंगे, आई एम ऑन द गूगल ट्रेंड वेबसाइट. ओके, और यहाँ ट्रेंड में, ऑन दिस सर्च एक्सप्लोर बार, I will just put here Nifty, okay? Just see here, I'm putting Nifty 50. Okay, and let me go with explore. Okay, now it's very simple. ये 0 से 100 के बीच में है. Even you can check on your system, right? So ये 0 से, if you see the scale, जो इसकी range है 0 से 100 तक है. Maximum 100, minimum 0. Okay, अगर ये 75 के ऊपर है, 75 से 100 तक है, इसका मतलब लोग इसके बारे में सर्च कर रहे हैं, ये ट्रेंडिंग है एक्चुअली. प्लीज ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम द सेंटिमेंट साइकोलॉजिकल पर्सपेक्टिव. अगर कोई भी व्यक्ति, इफ एनी पर्सन इज सर्चिंग, दैट मीन्स इधर वो ग्रीड है या फियर है, राइट? व्हेन इट कम्स टू द स्टॉक मार्केट, मोस्टली इट इज फियर. जब सब कुछ अच्छा होता है ना, पीपल आर लीस्ट बॉदर्ड एक्चुअली. जब पैसा कम होने लगता है, दे आर मोर वरीड एक्चुअली, एंड देन पीपल स्टार्ट सर्चिंग ऑन गूगल. ओके, सो सपोज व्हेन आई से निफ्ट, मैंने यहाँ पर एक्सप्लोर करा निफ्टी 50. ओके, ऑफ कोर्स इट सेज इंडिया. ये 5 डे, मतलब ये कल का डेटा बता रहा है. लेट्स से मैं पिछले 7 दिन का डेटा लेता हूँ. इफ आई गो विथ पास्ट 7 days डेटा. ओके, if you see past 7 days data, there is a high shoot up, right? Please understand, ये वो it was something like India Pakistan, that kind of war, right? It shoot up, right? Because market was down actually. Is it fine? Then there are Saturday, Sunday holiday, and again on the 12th, it was it again shoot up, right? That means a normal participant or the market participant is searching on the Google, right? So it can be kind of fear or it can be a greed. ये Nifty को क्या हुआ? What will happen to the Nifty? So people are searching all this index, Nifty, right? So you can see how it spiked, right? Now this 7 days are less actually. I will take more. I will go with a 30-day data. And again you see here, again it is, see, people are searching a lot about Nifty. What is happening to the Nifty? Today also it was almost 350 points up, right? 400 points up, I will say. How much? It's at 400 points up, right? That means people are searching actually. What the trend is. It also shows a kind of sentiment. Okay, let me take not Nifty 50. Even we can go with some other data. Suppose we can go with particular stock also, or it can be something like let me put here mutual fund SIP. Okay, if I go with like this mutual fund SIP, and again, okay, so yeah, fine. So again, if you see the mutual fund SIP, what the news I think last week came that the flow of SIP is reduced, right? In the month of April, the flow get bit reduced. I'm not saying it reduced, but some of the retail investor have. Okay, I will take another 5 minutes. Another 5 minutes, Abhishek. Okay, so if you see your mutual fund SIP, and again you see the trend, it is touching 100. That means a lot of people are searching on mutual fund SIP. और वो जरूर क्वेश्चन गूगल से पूछ रहे होंगे कि हम SIP चालू रखें, बंद करें. It is the right time for SIP, and that's what the Google trend is showing actually. Is it fine? So it also shows it's a kind of sentiment, right? People are worried, they are confused, right? So that's why it's more than 75 in this time period. Okay, I'll go with my last slide. So Google trend is another, and I will go with the last one, which is market move index, MMI. Okay. Now this is not freely available. If you see this is another quite popular. It's also quite popular index, but it is not freely available. It is a proprietary, software, proprietary application which is developed by Market Psych in 2004, right? It is a US based quantitative behavioral firm, okay, who developed a index, okay, and they take the data from multiple sources like news sentiments, social media trends, trading activity, and again the score is between 0 to 100. Okay, anything up to 50 is a fear factor, 50 is a neutral, and anything above 50, it indicates a kind of bullish, right? Okay, so something like this. These are the third party software. Okay, so I have just taken one photograph of it. Okay, so you will get a daily score like this. Okay, so as I said, anything above 70, it says extreme greed, means people are bullish, right? And if it is, you can see this in the middle, right? This diameter, right? This if it is on the left hand side, you can see fear and extreme fear. Okay, so it's a proprietary application. um, so how it is constructed, it is not revealed, है ना, उन्होंने बता के नहीं रखा है, बट वो सोशल मीडिया पे क्या ट्रेंड है, न्यूज में क्या चल रहा है, व्हाट पीपल आर थिंकिंग, based on that they have constructed this markets. I have constructed the index. Fine. You have any more question, please let me know. Okay, fine. So one of the website, yes, fine. So MMI is, no, MMI is applicable in India also. They track all the worldwide, all the markets. Yes, ticker tape is there for India. Yes, fair enough. I will share the PPT. No worries. So market psych, I've written no market psych. In 2004, they built the MMI. A free version, yes. So some are asking any free version similar to MMI. Yes, some of the trading members. See, I will not promote any of the trading member, but I can say if you go to any trading, uh, quite popular trading terminal, you take top 10, top 15 trading members. Some of them are providing MMI free of cost, but not all. Not all. I'm just saying, you visit the top 15 MMI, sorry, top 15 trading members, stockbrokers. Some of them are providing MMI. Otherwise, there are third party who are providing. So it's a mix of indicators. On those we can gauge, we can measure the sentiments. Okay, so basically sentiments are good for the day traders or positional traders. For the long term investors, I think it doesn't make sense. Sentiments not last for long. Actually, things get stabilized. No, NSE does not publish MMI. NSE only publish the wicks. Okay, one question, range of PCR. There is no range, as I said. If it is more than one, then more put holders. If it is less than one, let's say 0.5, 0.7, then more call holders. It's simple, a division, right? Total open interest of the put divided by total open interest of the call. So yeah. So thanks everyone. Thank you NISM. Thank you everyone, all the participants. Thanks for showing the interest, asking a lot of questions. Really good to interact with you all.